time, and it hasn't. How well taken was that? Marcel Sabitzer with his second goal since joining on loan from Bayern Munich. Martial looks to have been really revved up by the confidence that his manager's put in him, and he's played Sabitzer in again, and he's scored again. So incisive, Manchester United breaking forward. Two fine finishes from the Austrian, the beneficiary of two magnificent passes into him. First Bruno Fernandes, and now a flying Anthony Martial. And Casemiro is quite right to point to him. Jesus Navas, not able to be controlled by Ocampos. Ball back in for Malacia to let it run, and Navas has got it in via De Gea. Sevilla have their goal back. Jesus Navas playing a huge part in it, but it will go down as an own goal against the Manchester United keeper, and it's Tyrell Malacia's mistake. He switched off. Ocampos, it's a good-looking delivery, and it's in for 2-2. En-Nesyri has done it. What a scrap this has been by Sevilla. They have dragged themselves up from what seemed certain to be the depths of defeat. They were down and out at 2-0 early on in the game. Manchester United only have themselves to blame for not scoring more. Full-time in Manchester. Manchester United 2, Sevilla 2.
Okay, so decision, and that was what happened last night between Manchester United Sevilla right there at the Old Trafford. 2 goals scored, 2 own goals, 4-goal thriller. The game ended in no draw. So the question here is, how will Manchester United get this right in the return leg? With that, we'll welcome you to Kiko Sports Show this Friday morning. My name is Oladapo Kunubi, aka Young Striker 9, number 9. And well, a lot of people will be thinking, for those watching live on Facebook and YouTube, that I'm flashing Manchester United jersey. I'm not taunting anybody this morning. I just feel like putting on something that has good collar, or something that can keep my neck warm. Okay, so let's quickly look at updates from the world of tennis this morning. We'll talk NBA and we'll talk football. Remember, games going down this weekend. Games are also going down live at different centers. We're also getting tennis updates about China. We look at what may surely also transpire this weekend in the playoff of the NBA. Do not go anywhere. Remember, we're live on Facebook, facebook.com/Solutions939FM. Facebook.com/Solutions939FM. On our YouTube channel is Solutions939FM. Click the like, subscribe buttons. You can also click the share button. We're good to go.
In the mix, and we ain't stopping.
You guys have the best music.
Turn it up. TSOL.
The Remedy.
Solutions FM.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
So let's talk about the guys that are out of the tournament right there at the Monte Carlo Masters. Novak Djokovic already bundled out last night. So let's quickly also look at how it went down. Djokovic lost 6-4, 5-7, 4-6 against Lorenzo Musetti. Well, for those who also followed the tsunami of Novak Djokovic out of the Monte Carlo Masters include Matteo Berrettini, Alexander Zverev, Jiri Leka, Nicolas Jarry, Karen Khachanov, Hubert Hurkacz, and Casper Ruud. Let's look at games going down today at the Monte Carlo Masters. At 10 o'clock, Andrei Rublev will take on Jan-Lennard Struff as Stefanos Tsitsipas, Bartosz Taylor Fritz. Danny Medvedev will be up against Ugo Noskovrin by 2 o'clock as Lorenzo Musetti will take on Jannik Sinner by 3:30. We've got games going down. Looking at tournament in the world of tennis, the Asian Oceania Billie Jean King Cup Group 1 live update this morning. Young against Pektan Pluhai as Ankia Raina is up against Moyuka Uchijima. There's some qualification or games also going down. There are games going down today in Mexico. Some decided already. Also in Madrid, Spain. But talking about updates coming from the world of tennis, the WTA category, WTA tournament will return to China later this year after being suspended since late 2021 due to concerns around the safety of player Peng Shuai. Peng posted claims on Chinese social media site Weibo in November 2021 that she had been sexually assaulted by former Chinese Vice Premier Zhang Gaoli before disappearing from public view and later denying making the allegation in a video interview posted on a Singaporean Chinese language newspaper. The situation led to widespread concern for Peng's well-being, initiating the hashtag Where is Peng Shuai campaign, with the WTA going as far as suspending Chinese tennis tournament. The organization called on Chinese authorities to investigate the matter, but has now accepted that those requests will not be met. The 10-year deal for the season-ending WTA finals to be held in Shenzhen will also resume. So that's the latest update concerning WTA tournament right there in China. So let's talk NBA this morning, where the Golden State Warriors have cleared forward Andrew Wiggins to play in Game 1 of their first-round playoff series against the Sacramento Kings on Saturday. That is coming from coach Steve Kerr, saying that this man looks great and feeling good and is ready to go. Wiggins last played on 13th of February and spent several weeks away from his team while attending to a family matter. He returned to the practice last week to reacclimate himself and walk on condition, but the Warriors remain unclear on how much to expect from Wiggins right away after 2 months off. There are some players, they don't need to play in long games. They can come in the playoffs and bring in something different. Yes, I can tell you for a fact. But let's just quickly look at how this will go on Saturday, 12 a.m. The playoffs starting. Miami Heat will take a Chicago Bulls as Oklahoma City Thunders battles Minnesota Timberwolves. Philadelphia 76ers against Brooklyn Nets as Boston Celtics will take on Atlanta Hawks. Cleveland Cavaliers will be up against New York Knicks. And, well, for the fixtures on Sunday, LA Lakers will take on Memphis Grizzlies as Golden State Warriors will be up against Sacramento Kings. Those are the fixtures for the playoffs. Let's move away from tennis this morning. From NBA this morning, and let's talk football. Moving to the second half of the show. Still Kickoff Sports Show live on your Remedy Radio Down Solutions 939 FM. Remember, we are live on Facebook, YouTube Solutions 939 FM. Do not go anywhere. Thank you for staying tuned.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Live, and this is the first half of AM Update live on your Remedy Radio Down Solutions 939 FM. And let's talk the NPFL games are going down this weekend, and it's going to be the round of 14 of the NPFL. Nasarawa United will be at home as the welcome Gombe United as the Abia Warriors host Sunshine Stars of Akure. Enugu Rangers will be at home as they take on Niger Tornadoes as Lobby Stars. The Group B leaders battle Bayelsa United. It will be Doma United against Wiki Tourist as El Kanemi Warriors host Shooting Stars Sports Club of Ibadan. Remember, Shooting Stars played out a 1-0 draw against My Remo Stars at the Lagos Salami Stadium at Amasigba Ibadan over the weekend. Last weekend, I beg your pardon. While Kwara United will be in Akure as they take on Enyimba International. Plateau United hosts Akwa United as Remo Stars will take on Bendel Insurance. So the question here is, look at that group. Bendel Insurance is topping with 27 points. Remo Stars is third with 22 points. Akwa United is in between the two teams. Remember, victory for Bendel Insurance will, extend their unbeaten run this season to 14. A team that is yet to lose a game, although their form, they've drawn 4 out of their last 5 matches. And for Remo Stars, winning 2, drawing 2, losing 1. You did lose, that means it's going to be it's going to be different for them. Also, looking at Enyimba, breathing behind them with 21 points. But now let's look at the last game of the weekend, where Rivers United will take on Takada FC. Remember, Rivers United lost one of their games in hand against Lobby Stars, losing 2-3. And before that game, remember, there was a drama in Rivers United where Fatai Osho, who happens to be one of the coaches in Rivers United, he announces departure from the team. And guess what? 24 hours later, he made a return to Rivers United. But his return was not enough for Rivers United, to avoid a defeat against Lobby Stars. Okay, so that's the situation in the NPFL. Let's go straight and talk Europa League. This morning, games were played in the Europa League, same as UEFA Conference League. Remember, games decided. A lot of people on their screens yesterday looking at how situations will look like for the likes of Roma, Juventus, Manchester United, and the likes. But hey, guess what? It was Manchester United playing out 2-2 draw at the Old Trafford. Players are now injured. Talking about Manchester United, key players injured. Maybe some of their opponents in the Premier League can say that this is the best time to play the Red Devils. You've got the first choice centre backs of Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez injured, and that is also adding up to players on the sideline. Remember, Marcus Rashford has also been sidelined. But for the coach of Manchester United, Erik ten Hag, has a different opinion about this. Talking about what they need to do. What really transpired in that game yesterday and what the focus will look like after the Europa League game decided last night.
No. But I had to make them. There was no other way. Rafa was injured. It was the first I had to make. And then Anthony Martial, first start after a long period. So we had to make him on the 60. Then Bruno, I got the warning from the refs. He was short before his second booking, and the same with Anthony Dos Santos. So yeah, I had to make the subs. I had no other choice. But still, I think it doesn't. Still, we control the game. Still, we had to score the third goal. I think it was good action from Pelle. And then Ty, I think in the 81st minute, there was a big chance on 3-0. And then, I think in the last 10 minutes of the game, everything was against us. Also, we have to be more smart. Switch off, of course, with the first goal we get. And then the injury of Licha. So not a bad look. But both goals against were both really unlucky goals, two deflected. Yeah, what can you do against? Sometimes you have bad days and you have bad luck. And tonight was not our night. I'm not thinking about the next leg in Spain, of course. But next game for me is Forest, and that is where I'm looking at.
Well, Erik ten Hag focusing on Nottingham Forest's game. Also disappointed about what happened yesterday, but in some games, you win some, you lose some, you draw some. That is part of the philosophy in games, most especially football. But look, the next couple of games are for Manchester United, facing Nottingham Forest over the weekend. Come this weekend on Sunday, then return. Going to Spain to face Sevilla in the return leg of the Europa League. They will take on Brighton and Hove Albion in the semi-final of the English FA Cup. Take on Tottenham in London. Then battle Aston Villa at the Old Trafford. Those are the games of the month of April. But can they weather the storm against Nottingham Forest with some key players injured, playing against Sevilla, that got 2 goals, although own goals from Manchester United. Playing against Tottenham, struggling, Aston Villa, that can also cause big trouble. But moving away from that, let's look at all the results of games in the Europa League decided last night. It was some shocking results for some teams, but maybe for AS Roma losing in Netherlands against Feyenoord. But here is Jose Mourinho talking to some journalists right there in Netherlands, saying that they can get the victory and is not a kind of coach that sucks after losing games.
We'll see in 1 week. What is necessary to win over Feyenoord in 7 days? What you need?
Score goals. Put the ball in the net. It's as simple as that.
Is that what today you didn't do, eh?
You watched the game.
I watched, yeah.
So
you had your chances, no?
Really?
You had your chances with
Of course we had. But football is not about chances. It's about scoring. It's about scoring goals.
Like in Tirana, you have to be efficient.
Exactly.
So we agree?
Today you agree?
Yeah, today, yes.
But for the past 10 months you were crying.
Yes. We cried a lot here. We see each other in 7
but you shouldn't cry. Do you know why? Because you cannot win the match that you lost. You lost a game, you cannot win that one. The only problem today is that the game didn't finish. It's half time.
We see each other in 7 days.
Yeah. And I promise you, if I lose, I sleep. I don't stay for 10 months having nightmares,
I mean, Jose Mourinho is a savage. Come on. What a response to such question. But it doesn't suck. Well, that's one thing about Jose Mourinho. It's philosophical. But now let's look at another game that also went down last night. Juventus beating Sporting CP 1-0. Now looking at the quarterfinals of the Europa Conference League, it was Gent and West Ham United playing at a 1-0 draw. AZ Alkmaar losing on the road against Anderlecht in Belgium 2-0. Basel Nice played out 2-0 draw as Lech Poznan lost at home 1-4 against Fiorentina. So let's keep our fingers crossed till the next round. I mean the return leg of these games. Miracle no detire Jesus. So many miracles of results can happen, right? But also Juventus goalkeeper Wojciech Szczesny was left scared after leaving the first leg of the side's Europa quarterfinal against Sporting CP with chest pain, and we got a report that this man is getting better. Let's go straight to the German Bundesliga this morning. Well, remember yesterday there was an announcement about Sadio Mane, who has been suspended and fined by Bayern Munich due to the altercation between himself and Leroy Sané. And well, according to report now, after being suspended, part of the things put in place that may surely happen to Sadio Mane is maybe at the end of the season he will be shipped out of the team. Maybe a lot of Liverpool fans will be happy about this, to make him return, or maybe Sadio Mane to go to a French league on side. But the question here is, they've got a return leg game in the UEFA Champions League against Manchester City, but the first suspension is to miss the German Bundesliga game going down this weekend against Hoffenheim. But let's look at games in the German Bundesliga going down this weekend. Starting tonight, Schalke 04 hosting Hertha Berlin 7:30 tonight. But for all the matches, Sadio Mane to miss Hoffenheim's game going down 2:30 on Saturday. As Mainz will be up against FC Köln, RB Leipzig hosts Augsburg, as Stuttgart hosts second place to Borussia Dortmund, while Borussia Mönchengladbach will be on the road against Eintracht Frankfurt. And we also got updates about Thuram and Gladbach, who's going to leave at the end of the season. We don't know where he's headed. Werder Bremen on Sunday will take on Freiburg. Union Berlin hosts Bochum, as Wolfsburg will be up against Bayern Leverkusen. Moving away from Germany this morning, let's look at what is also happening. Going straight to James Rodriguez. Remember, this man once played in the Spanish La Liga after his outstanding performance at the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil. Now, Olympiacos announced the termination of James Rodriguez's contract on Thursday after 8 months at the club. The former Monaco, Real Madrid and Everton midfielder moved to Greece at the beginning of the season, but departs having not played for club since mid-February due to injury. Well, this man, I don't know what has happened to him for the past few seasons. He has not spent more than a single season at any of his last 3 clubs, Olympiacos, Al Rayyan and Everton. Maybe retirement coming very soon. But let's quickly look at what will be going down in the Premier League before talking about the Spanish La Liga. Battle continues in England for the Champions League position, the title position, as Aston Villa will be up against Newcastle United this weekend. 12:30, that's the first game in the Premier League come Saturday, as Chelsea will be at the Stamford Bridge welcoming neighbours Brighton and Hove Albion. Frank Lampard will hope to get this right, back-to-back defeats for him since taking charge of Chelsea. Everton hosts Fulham as Southampton will be at the St Mary's Stadium against Crystal Palace, and Roy Hodgson has been getting the results needed. And should Crystal Palace get a result here, Southampton will surely be knocking that door or get a master key to Championship. Tottenham host Bournemouth. Wolverhampton Wanderers will battle Brentford. Manchester City will take on former champions Leicester City. I mean, look at Leicester. Things are not really working for this side. But now John Smith is in charge, but not a good time to get a job at Leicester City. Facing Manchester City, second place, a team in the Champions League, getting a 3-0 victory over Bayern Munich. And West Ham United will take on Arsenal. There's a London derby, right? Nottingham Forest will take on Manchester United. And Monday night we see Leeds against Liverpool. Moving away from the Premier League, let's go straight to La Liga. Check out time right now, 9:26 is the time from your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 939 FM, Kiko Sports Show. First half of AM updates. Now, looking at fixtures of games going down in Spain this weekend. Rayo Vallecano will take on Osasuna tonight, 8 o'clock. But looking at other games, scheduled for this weekend, on Saturday, Villarreal will take on Rayo Valladolid. And we hope that Samuel Chukwueze will continue with that form. Athletic Bilbao will take on Real Sociedad as Espanyol will travel to play Betis. Cadiz host Real Madrid. Can't really say smoking hot Real Madrid because they are cold in Spain but hot in the UEFA Champions League. Only Real Madrid can understand. Girona will take an Elche as Getafe host Barcelona. Atletico Madrid will be up against Almeria. Valencia hosts Sevilla as Mallorca. On Monday night, travels to play Celta Vigo. Well, remember, games are not only going down in Germany, Spain, England, but games are also going down in the Italian Serie A. Okay, so looking at Italian Serie A, games are going down this weekend. Starting tonight, 2 matches in the Italian Serie A. Cremonese hosting Empoli, as Lazio will be on the road against Spezia. But for other matches going down in Italy this weekend, Bologna hosts AC Milan. Remember, AC Milan is coming from a 1-0 victory over Napoli in the UEFA Champions League, while Napoli will be at home as a welcome Verona. We don't know if Victor Osimhen will be available for this game, but remember, the coach will also want him to be fit enough to face AC Milan in the UEFA Champions League for the return leg. Well, Inter Milan will take on Monza. Lecce takes on Sampdoria. Salernitana on the road against Torino, as Sassuolo will be up against Juventus. AS Roma take on Udinese as Fiorentina host Atalanta. These are the games going down across Europe this weekend. Remember, stay out of trouble. But we are getting updates, maybe more trouble to come in the transfer window. Maybe one man is already saying he's ready to move or staying back. Vincent Kompany is insisting he's happy at Burnley, despite reports linking him with vacant roles at the role at Tottenham. And, Chelsea have invited Julian Nagelsmann to face-to-face talks as they ramp up the search for a new manager. And, Real Madrid have also made Jude Bellingham their top transfer target this summer after meeting with senior figures at the club and representatives acting for the England midfielder. We'll move to the other side of the show this morning, where we'll look at headlines on pages of Nigerian newspapers. Joining me on that side is Victor Richard. My name is Oladapo Okunubi. Do not go anywhere.
Yo, what's up?
Do not touch that dial. You know the radio you tune to, it's your Remedy dial, 93.9 Solutions FM. Your number one Remedy dial.
For this Naija wey we dey so, say you no hold cash no mean say wahala dey o. You wan send money to Male for Villa, just use Momo. You wan buy recharge card or data, just use Momo. You wan pay for market wey you buy, just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash, as long as you get Momo account. No cash, no wahala, and e dey easy to open o. Just dial *671# to open Momo account. Set your PIN, transfer money from your bank account inside your Momo account. Make you fit dey pay for anything, send and receive money sharp because life dey simple with Momo.
Saleko is the jungle. Everyone does what they must to survive.
Gangs of Lagos don land for Prime Video and na the #1 film, so make una go watch am. E get better stars like Toby Bakri, Adesuwa Tomi Wellington, Chike, Iyabo Ojo and more. Plus the gege action wey dem do for the film. Chai! Na for only Prime Video you fit watch Gangs of Lagos, and dem go first give you 7 days free trial. Terms and conditions dey o. Oh yeah, japa to Prime Video.
Mommy!
Yes, daughter?
Why is it that almost everyone in my school comes with Sumal candies and biscuits? I just want to know.
Yes, darling. It's because Sumal food is amazing and simply the best.
Yes, Mommy. Even the Sumal wafers and the chewing gum that you've always given to us are extremely delicious and captivating.
Hello, everyone. Here's your bread. Of course, it's yellow bread.
Wow! Thanks, my dear. We always enjoy Jolly bread. For your biscuits, wafers, candies, chewing gum, and bread.
Sumal Foods, love at first bite.
Sumal Foods, love at first bite.
The Naira Games with your favorite radio presenters. The music with loads of fun and entertainment. It's Buxton World. Buxton World presents the Naira Game Show in the city of Ibadan. Featuring lots of games to win lots of money. And also get a chance to mingle with your favorite radio personalities. Coming live every last Thursday of the month at Platinum Club's outdoor stage. Number 2, Awolowo Avenue, Old Bodija, Ibadan. From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The game ticket is 500 Naira. And you can get yours in all the radio stations in Ibadan. Or you can log into to www.buxtonworld.com to play off stage. For sponsorship, call 0905-362-5550. Proudly supported by Platinum Club and all the radio stations in Oyo State. Buxton World Naira Game Show. Every player is a winner.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Oh, thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the last edition of From the Dailies for the week, right here on the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9. This is the opportunity where we get to look at the front pages of the Nigerian newspaper and put some spotlight with analysis. Welcome to the show. I'll be taking stories from the Nigerian Tribune and the Vanguard newspaper. My name is Victory Richard.
I've got the Punch and the Nation newspapers here this morning as we look at the headlines. We've got different reaction. I mean, it is more of the supplementary elections going down this weekend. We've got that over your state and some other states, and we're getting statements from INEC of different states telling Nigerians of how prepared they are. But are the electorate also prepared? Are they even aware? These are more we look at this morning.
Alright, please be reminded that we're streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube, so jump on the platform and lend in your thought as we address some of the issues this morning. Let's get right into the papers. There's some... Alright, let's begin with the Nigerian Tribune. Ghana first to approve Oxford malaria vaccine. 9 years after 98 Chibok girls still in Boko Haram captivity, Amnesty International. 14 girls came back with 24 babies, according to their parents. 780 children abducted in North. In 2 years, 61 held by abductors. And now to the banner headline, supplementary polls. APC, PDP in final battle for Adamawa KB Guber seat. Right as to that, as the election held in 5 senatorial districts, 31 federal, 58 state constituents tomorrow. RGP orders deployment of additional personnel, logistics. Jigawa government convenes special security meeting. Kaduna PDP locks over inclusion of Kura in return. Over 300 personnel deployed in Kanu in 31 polling units with 7,000 voting strength. We are ready for polls or your wreck assures. PDP APC bicker in Edo State. More stories from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Why national census should be suspended autumn. Police Service Commission probes bribe for promotion allegation. Tinubu among Times Magazine 100 most influential people. 7 burned to death in Lagos-Ibadan Expressway accident. Banana Island building collapse. Lagos government begins probe. 25 rescued, 8 on admission. All construction in estate placed on hold to be audited. These are the stories on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, going straight to the Punch newspaper this morning. Looking at the headlines here. Tinubu don't make Time magazine's 100 most influential persons. CBN to mop up dormant account balances, unclaimed funds. Okay, now fuel subsidy, oil theft go up 29 trillion naira, says FG. Looking at other headlines, most especially the banner headline this morning. Supplementary elections, APC PDP battle for 2 governorship, 94 legislative seats. And riders to this particular headline says Atiku mobilizes support for PDP candidate. APC backs Binani to upstage Fintiri. Remember that particular election, right? And AIG allays fears of voter intimidation, deploys personnel in 2,660 polling units. Buhari performs a lesser Hajj. Muslims urged to be self-reliant. And looking at the shoe headlines here this morning, Obi Kwankwanso shared Atiku's votes. Tinubu tells Tribunal. Building collapse. LASG stops construction project on Banana Island. House leadership. Reps elect form 283-member alliance. Okay. This and more you can find from the Punch newspaper this morning.
Alright, away from the Punch, let's now move over to the Vanguard newspaper, beginning with this story. Dormant account, CBN slammed 2 million fine to erring banks. Find that story on page 19. Police promotion, bribery scandal. Panel calls for evidence, vows to deal with corporate. Read up on that on page 9. No local refining, no subsidy removal. Nepeng warns. 8 killed as troops intercept cache of terrorist ammunition in Kaduna. Unprofessional conduct, police dismiss 3 officers. And now to the banner headline. On polls, I defeated you, Tinubu tells Obi. Riders to that, you have been losing since 1993. He replies Atiku. Says call for says call for runoff. Baseless. Chibok girls, 9 years after. Authorities unable to protect children. Amnesty International. $460,000 forfeiture. You can't rewrite history. Atiku's aide tells Tinubu. UK government apologizes to Peter Obi for wrongful detention. Riders to that, we are not aware of British government's apology on Heathrow's incident. LP. World Bank lists challenges of incoming government. Bayern hammers fall on money over misconduct. These are the stories on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, going straight to the Nation newspaper this morning with the headlines here. Starting with the cap. Nobody trapped under collapsed Lagos building. And right there says the 25 rescued, 7 injured. Next headline. 90. Government spent 13 trillion naira on petrol subsidy in 6 years. And red headline here. NSIA grew net assets to 1.02 trillion naira in 2022. TED fund OKs at 30 billion naira for project. Tinubu to Tribunal. Petitions by Atiku. PDP not competent. Not joining Obi Kwankwanso invalidates suit. Voters in FCT not superior. And another headline here. IMF advocate debt rescheduling for developing nations. Nigeria working to meet malaria vaccine deadline. Ghana OKs used for children under 3. And the PSC probes a cash for promotion allegation. 7 burned to death in Ogiri crash. I take that headline again: 7 burned to death in Ogeri crash. This and more you can find from the Nation newspaper this morning. But remember, we're still live on Facebook, facebook.com/Solutions939FM. You can join the contribution via that platform. Same as our YouTube channel, Solutions939FM. Your preparation for, looking at the election scheduled for this weekend, it is a mop-up for some states. I think it's just 2 for the supplementary in Oyo State. And well, remember the Friday edition is an open mic where you also have to share your opinion on some of the headlines that dropped maybe during the week, also dropping today. Remember, we have to move to the burning issue this morning. So Victory, last week Friday we were discussing about the bill raised that has passed the second reading, that is the medical doctors to stay back 5 years in Nigeria. And the rep member who raised that bill, Honorable Ganiyu Johnson, yesterday came on live TV to clear the air concerning this particular bill, saying that it was more to develop Nigeria's health system, and if these are put in place, it will stop medical doctors and dentists from running away from the country. But let's listen to Honorable Ganiyu Johnson here, clearing the air concerning the bill that has passed the second reading.
The whole bill was premised on improved welfare package for medical personnel. 2, improved health facilities, upgrading and maintaining of our health facilities, especially starting from primary health care, health centers, trying to upgrade those ones to general hospitals. Then also maintain and upgrade our general hospitals to specialist hospitals. And also try to maintain and upgrade our specialist hospitals to research centers. If these things are done, I think the health personnel will have no cause to leave this country. Coupled with the fact that I also canvass for government to collaborate with private sector, especially the insurance companies. Then the 5 years, medical doctors feel strongly that they're under slavery. It's a win-win for them and for the government too. We have over 200 million people. And right now, we have very few doctors servicing these 200 million people. So the 5 years is inclusive of the housemanship and the National Youth Service, which is 2 years out of the 5 years. The remaining 3 years, they will use that opportunity to enroll for their residency.
Well, that's really interesting. One thing with the government is we expect policies like this, or one thing I would expect from any government is policies that will be beneficial to, the citizens. And since they're saying, I'm going to use his word, we want to see all these trials implemented. That way, we won't have these doctors leaving the country. We might have a reduction of the brain drain situation in Nigeria. Also, speaking of the years and how they decided to break it down, saying that 1 year is for housemanship, another year is for NYC, then 3 years is for residency. I think that's is consolation of some sort, because I think what the doctors had in mind was 1 year's housemanship, 1 year for NYC, then 5 years extra. So maybe, just maybe, the doctors might reconsider with this new development.
Well, I also feel must there be a situation where Nigerians cry before clarifications are made? Because when this man, raised this motion, then a lot of people, reacted from the medical line, even the NMA. There should have been more explanations. And another thing I want you to understand about Ganiyu Johnson, when he's representing Oshodi, Solo Federal Constituency. When he got to the National Assembly, there were reports that this man was dormant. He has never raised a motion. He has never, contributed. So after that reports came, he started, coming up with different bills. But this, I guess, was like a fire on the hand, and it was maybe they now had to sit him down that, man, this cannot work. These are the things that should be put in place. And I also feel for him saying that there should be, development in the medical system, in the health ministry, in the health system. This should have been the first thing to be put in place. Put forward before saying that, medical doctors should stay 5 years. Because when he said it, you could remember we played the sound here saying that they have to stay. And there was no explanation concerning that. But, these are more, whoever that is going, you want to raise any motion, you want a motion to be put in bill and also become a law. Look at the pros and cons. Not until when they start dragging you like a tiger gen. Because this man has been over-dragged, by different sections of media, not only media, even those in the medical line. But Dr. Cornerstone will also be joining us in the next few minutes as we look at some headlines here this morning. Remember, there's also the race to the speakership position of the National Assembly, same as the Senate presidential race. Now, it is not only about who really deserves it, but maybe the question is who deserves to be there or who is qualified, or because I've stepped down for some people. But let's listen to Miriam Onoha. She's also part of those running for that office of the 10th National Assembly for the speakership position. We have the likes of Wase Olawi, but we have Miriam Onoha. She was live yesterday talking about why she needs to run for that office, if she really deserves. She's one of the women in the national, in the National Assembly running for the speakership position.
Yes, I think that a woman can be the next speaker, and invariably that I can be the next speaker of the 10th House of Representatives, because I have prepared myself. I have followed through with the right knowledge and enablement, requirements to be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. I have been an active member of relevant committees of the House of Representatives to tutor myself with the right ideals and tenets to run the House of Representatives. I have the requisite educational qualifications to make the House of Representatives in the first place. And don't take it for a ride that I'm a woman. I survived the labor tsunami. I fought men, and I defeated them, and I'll do it again here. It's not coming from the point of weakness.
We've not had a female speaker, have we, in Nigeria? Have we had?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, so that would be impressive if we have one. But I think the argument has been about inclusion and federal character. There's been talks about the first man, the second man being Muslims, a Muslim from the south and a Muslim from the north. Then we have the third position, which is the Senate and the House of Rep follow suit. The argument is, are we going to have another Muslim emerge? But because I think, according to the Vanguard newspaper, there's a hierarchy being put in, and Jibril is the number one, followed by Ojo Zakalo and Gospel Akabio
for the Senate.
Yes, for the Senate. Dr. Cornerstone is joining us this morning for analysis. Good morning to you, Dr. Cornerstone.
Yeah, good morning. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. It's great to have you join us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You sounded very, very strong. Your voice sounded very strong this morning. The energy is there. So let's go straight to some of the burning issue this morning. Let's start with, where we stopped.
Yes, exactly. Dr. Cornerstone, so there's been argument for a period of time about who would emerge as Speaker of the House of Rep and also the Senate, the 10th Assembly, and it's been a conversation about inclusion, zoning, religious factors. From your point of view, with the President-elect and Vice President-elect, what's your position with these positions, and who do you think should occupy it, and what are the character traits or personality trait or professional traits that should be considered for this position?
Well, I'd like to say, Richard, in all honesty, all those questions you have, I don't have answers to them. All the questions you just asked now about the presidential elect and the vice presidential elect and the one about who will be because I do not see why we are putting the cart before the horse. There is a case in court, and we have not found the finality of that case, and we are already deciding who will be president. And for all I care, anybody can. Another Muslim can be Senate president, another Muslim can be House of Reps. I get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, but yes, I believe that there is a case in court, and until that case is decided, I will not be wading into any position or opinion about the National Assembly. It's when the presidential election has been put to rest by the tribunal or probably to the Supreme Court that we can be thinking of all that. I do not really want to meddle into all that. I think based on what the voting has been, it is a power that wants to make a religion more powerful than the other. And so they can go ahead and let Muslims practice.
Dr. Konosto, let's move away from that this morning. Let's look at, the motion raised by Honorable Gani Johnson, the lawmaker representing Oshodi Solo Federal Constituency concerning the health sector, saying 5 years. And yesterday he had to clear the air concerning this, saying that the 5 years include their housemanship, the NYSC, and also staying back to also learn more. Can we really say here now that the dust has been settled and everybody should be okay with this decision? It has passed the second reading, but it still go through other stages to become a law.
Yes, on a lighter note, I want to say that the same man will soon bring the same man may likely bring another bill asking the people who read agriculture to go into farming at least 5 years of their graduation before they do any other thing in Nigeria. Are you coughing?
Please go ahead.
Hello.
Please go ahead, Dr.
I said on the lighter note, the people who read fishery, the people who read fishery must practice fishery before they are given the opportunity of living for any other greener pastures. And for those of us who probably read Yoruba economics or Yoruba physics, we will have to practice before we are given the opportunity. It's a laughing stock, actually. Anybody who has read medicine, what about the people? That's the question I'm asking. What about the people who read the medicine and said, well, medicine is not my line. I want to practice fishery. And so they are going to be in prison for the 5 years before they can be given the opportunity of practicing fishery. See, education is a choice. Once you are educated in an area and you decide to practice something else, that's your business. Once you have the capacity, it's your business. I don't know what he's trying to drive at. So, you see, there's an adage in my place. Are you listening, sir?
Yeah, we see you.
They say it's the man who didn't clear his farm that stays up late when there is harvest, because he wants to enter home in the night so that nobody will know what he brought. I don't know if you understood that. These are people beating around the bush. When you know that you have consistently destroyed the fabrics of your nation and people are essentially looking for greener pastures, when the people who don't deserve to follow me, I've said it severally, it's the case of the man who does not even deserve to follow you as a leader. As if you are the leader, is the one that is leading you. People who have talent will look elsewhere. People who have art talent will look for other countries to go and explore. You understand me? It's been said that top 100 business persons in the world, they are Nigerians. They are top 100 medical professionals, they are Nigerians. They are top 100 pharmacists in the world are Nigerians. The top 100 technologists are Nigerians. The question is, are they in Nigeria? The answer is no, because they don't find Nigeria worthy of their talent. I also sometimes do feel that I should also look in that direction. A lot of people are looking forward to looking in that direction, because when the system that the system that runs the computer is better than the system, then you'd want to ask yourself, why is the computer on? The computer will switch off. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what is happening in Nigeria. I do not know the level to which because it's as though they can no longer run today and come back tomorrow from London for the purpose of their health. And so they are making it sure that the only ones who seem to have greener pastures, who seem to have easier acceptance, which is the doctors elsewhere, can no longer do so. Well, I do not want to describe the issue with the words coming from my mouth, coming from my mind right now. It's almost like a zoo experience. You cannot tell me not to go and practice. Did I not pay my school fees? Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Tell me where you subsidize my fee and you didn't do for others.
That's the defense.
School fees in Nigerian university, they will tell you 36,000 naira. And then you would say the person who cannot get doctors trained in his country because they pay in the hundreds of thousands of dollars will not be willing to take our own. If you don't want to make your own good, another person is interested in making his own good. I was speaking to someone yesterday, and I did say this statement. I said Nigeria wants the level of development of the Americas and the Europeans and the first world countries, but we don't want to practice their principles. This is a nation where everybody supports the bad guy, supports the bad process just because it's benefiting him, and we are all wondering why the things are like this. For God's sake, if you're asking the medical practitioner to do 5 years before, then you should ask the banker to do 5 years. You should ask the economist to do 5 years. And the question they start asking you is this: is it because the medical person has got the total number of persons who are practicing is so low? It's not a question, at least. I don't want to bother my head on him.
Dr. Cornerstone, let's move away from that conversation and talk about the Central Bank of Nigeria. They are in the news again, but this time not for cash crunch. So the CBN is proposing that banks should transfer funds in accounts that have been dormant for up to 10 years into a trust fund account. And erring banks will be charged 10 million naira if they fail to do so. Now, we know that commercial banks use some of this dormant money to give out loans and other benefits to their customers. How do you see this development affecting Nigerians? Or do you commend the CBN for that action?
Richard, comment. If you ask me, now who I go ask?
I'm asking you because you're my analyst this morning.
Comment. Somebody is bearing somebody's money and you're saying, if I leave my money in a bank for 20 years, the day I bring my papers to say it's my account, that's the day the account is lifted. Which was somebody is using style to bear money because they cannot see places to borrow money again. Remember, this is a nation where the pension fund money has been spent. Now that one has finished. It's like the people who are still in power right now. They are just bearing everything. Let me use that word. You cannot come and ask me what is bear. You understand what I'm saying? Hello, yes, they are just bearing. They are sweeping the floor. The floor needs to be clean. So it's good that. But it's just painful that someone who owns money, what if the person has probably lost details of that account? I remember for me, I had a bank account in a particular bank that was almost 15 years. I didn't know I had money there until one day I just stumbled on the document. Bros, I got money for here. I went there. Please, a transaction of this, which account I put it as, okay, you reach your, and you didn't even come. You did this over 15 years. I said I have forgotten. Wow. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about an amount of money, probably. Richard, don't laugh at me. An amount of money of 15,000 naira.
That's something, Dr. Cornerstone.
Yeah. So, and then just add a zero to it so that you understand what I'm trying to say.
Feel you.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think it's a backdoor. It's a backdoor. It's actually trying to take money of people that does not belong to government. It's really see, once the zoo is hot, everything is a free for all. That's what you expect when there are no rules and laws in the nation.
Okay, Dr.
Everything is free for all. There's no better way to describe what we are in right now. We are rudderless. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody comes up with laws to favor himself today.
So, Dr. Cornerstone, let's go to Lagos this morning. Well, remember, concerning the 7-story building collapse. And Lasema came out to tell us that the building got collapsed because a truck ran into it. And after that, the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, also announced the stopping of ongoing construction at Banana Island. I'm not an engineer, and I don't think you are one, but a lot of reactions we're getting on getting yesterday after that information got released by Lasema was that it shows that that building was not good enough. Talking of the material. This is not the first time. Let me finish. Let me finish, so please.
Okay.
Must we get to a stage where properties are destroyed, lives are lost before taking the decision? I mean, now after the 7-story building collapsed, there was suspension of building development on the estate.
Where I said let me talk, I already knew where you were going. First of all, you have to withdraw that statement that I'm not an engineer. In Nigeria, by the practice of engineering and building, I'm an engineer. An engineer is anybody who can spell the word engineer. E-N-G-I-N-E-E-R. Did I correct in the spelling?
Congratulations, Dr. Cornerstone.
Yes. Once you can spell the word engineer, you are one in Nigeria. Who cares if you will have to bring 14-story building down? When the building falls down first, that's when we start asking ourselves, do you have a paper? You get what I'm saying? So I'm an engineer now, but whether I have a paper remains when I supervise the building and it collapses. I just told you that Nigeria is in almost all fronts looking rudderless. That is the better way to do. You understand what I'm saying? See, we have become people who act based on what happened rather than act to prevent things to happen. You get it now?
I get you, Dr. Cornerstone.
Hello?
Yeah,
so I see it. Look, I'm short of words to describe. You get what I'm saying? I'm short of words. And you say that I'm not an engineer. When the house I supervise falls, you will know I am one.
Oh my goodness. Dr. Cornerstone, you never told me that you were an engineer or you've been or you've supervised a building before.
Because let me tell you, the only thing we can make of this is the ridicule is bringing on us. So we just become ridiculous too with the answers. You understand this? A governor is suspending building in a particular section because one house fell. I get what I'm saying. The one that fell, the one that was being built by Shibono, when it fell, everything is normal and usual now. Another one, 7-story building has fallen in, and it is. Can you imagine a trailer hook a house and the whole house came down? Oh God!
Finally, Dr. Cornerstone.
What are you still doing in Nigeria?
Dr. Cornerstone, we want to build our nation together, but let's leave it at that. Let's talk
when
about
your leaders are tearing it down. Hello?
No, Dr. Cornerstone, no. We'll build it together. Let's talk about the supplementary election happening on Saturday, right? Do you think that INEC... not in different states, so have all your states having their supplementary.
Okay. Let me tell you, you don't need to ask me questions on that. Okay. I believe it is the party's members that will be voting in those elections because based on the results we have seen in the post results from presidential and what's it called? Governorship elections, I will just tell you that it's the members of those parties that will be voting. Somebody will be declaring winner by 50 on Saturday because I am so sure that voter party will be so pronounced in those places. I'm so sure. Because if you ask yourself a question, somebody is equating the federal government of the FCT as a state in Nigeria, and then you want to ask yourself, Maize Akin, they didn't have the opportunity of voting a governor, they didn't have the opportunity of voting a National Assembly, and somebody by his own interpretation is already saying, Federal Capital Territory is one of the states in Nigeria, makes it the 37th state. And you want me to not have anything to say, until people are normal with the way they respond to issues in Nigeria, a lot of people are going to have voter apathy. You understand what I'm saying?
So, which goes back to you just answered the question. Talking about the awareness. Is the awareness enough? Because look at the headline on the Tribune newspaper this morning: movement restriction, or your movement restriction as supplementary election holds in 8 polling units. And I was having a discussion with Ayode Jajishokwe yesterday, and they're saying that there will be enough security because I was thinking, looking at this, polling unit, how secure. Will this polling unit be also for those coming out to cast their vote? A lot of people might have even put events on this day.
I want to say this. Concerning the issue of security, I'd like to say just like what happened in the March 18 election, security will be seen, but whether the place will be secure is what I don't know.
Judging from what you're saying, Dr. Cornerstone, you already, presumed that there's going to be a possible voter apathy. So it makes me want to believe that you don't think that INEC's image might be redeemed with this election.
You don't have to use me to believe it. The people who came to monitor the election did say that what INEC did does not deserve to have faith in them. I'm not the one who said it. International observers, monitors did say so. I'm not making up my point so that you will not say it's Cornerstone that said so. I am basing my explanation or analysis on what the international observers have said. And I think even if I do not have anybody to believe in, I should believe them because they have nothing to lose about Nigerian election.
Well, fair enough. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dr. Cornerstone. We appreciate your candid thought and analysis.
Okay, well, Dr. Cornerstone, the public affairs analyst there, sharing his opinion and analyzing issues. And we're still looking at this supplementary elections going down in 8 polling units in Oyo State. Well, we have those of other states, but let's just quickly give you updates here. And according to reports, from the Tribune newspaper, movement will be restricted around the 8 polling units in Oluyole and Ibadan Northeast, Ibadan Southeast federal constituencies where supplementary elections will be held in Oyo State on Saturday. The leading candidates from the February 25 elections in Oluyole are Honorable Tolu Akonde Sadikwe of the All Progressives Congress APC and Mojid Mojubola of the People's Democratic Party PDP, while the top 2 in Ibadan Northeast Southeast are Honorable Abbas Adigun of PDP and Honorable Dakbo Lam Adesina of the APC. Well, remember, the battle in the affected polling unit in Oluyole will be for the vote of 2,869 persons who have collected their PVCs, while in Ibadan Northeast, Southeast, Adigun and Lam Adesina will seek to have a sizable portion of the 2,381 eligible voters with PVCs. And if you look at, while the affected polling units in Oluyole are Abe Technical and IDC School, Olurinde, those affected in Ibadan Northeast, Southeast are Elea Borishade Compound, Atikpe Junction, Government Secondary School, Oritakwe CAC Grammar School, Niyere 1, Queen of Apostle, Oluyoro 3, and Falano Mobile Station 2. So look at this environment. For those of you staying in this areas, remember, with the information we got and the story coming out, there will be restriction of movement so that there won't be crisis at the end of the day that's police officers or security officials blocked the road and they didn't allow us move because of this and that. So a lot of people must also get this information. Based on awareness, we've been seeing this story even since they finished the election window. Then we heard and we knew that this was going to happen, and INEC has been pushing out information. We also hope that political party members, same as other agencies, can continue to inform people ahead of tomorrow's supplementary elections. Now, talking about voter apathy here, look at the number of votes these candidates will have to fight for. The battle in the affecting polling units in Oluyole will be for the vote of 2,869 persons. With what happened at the general election, same as the state and the state governorship and the state House of Assembly elections, do you think a lot of people will come out? I won't want us to have the mindset of what Dr. Cornerstone said. He spoke his own mind here.
Well, what I would say is people should come out and vote, because at the end of the day, it's your constituent, right? And you need to put in a leader that you can trust, that you can hold accountable. So I would say, regardless of what happened, come out to cast your vote that day. For states like Adamawa that will be having governorship supplementary polls, I know people would want to come out because, people are really excited with the news about a possible female governor emerging until the election was declared inconclusive. So I would like to see that people come out in mass to vote during the election, and we might possibly have the news that some people are looking for. But at the end of the day, election isn't about gender. It's about the vote cast and the people's choice. Hopefully INEC, stay through to that.
Talking about that should be Adamawa State, right?
Yeah.
For Adamawa State, I think what INEC should also understand is what we need to understand is what went wrong. There was some said overvoting in Adamawa, so there should be a correct calculation of number of votes here, because that of Oyo State was due to Beavers malfunctioning, and it now raises the question of if we get to a stage where it is going to be regional voting at the end of the day, maybe too much load on Beavers. That was why the Beavers was malfunctioning. But let us see how this will go. Remember, we have that of other states off-cycle election, governorship election in some states coming very soon. Maybe
Emo
that
and
will.
the likes.
What is it?
Emo and the likes.
Yeah, so maybe with that we'll also see a situation where Beavers will walk like what we saw in Oshun and Ekiti. But that is for that. But remember, we're still live. You can also join the conversation this morning.
Yes, I think INEC has a chance at heroism with these elections that are forthcoming, especially the governorship polls in Adamawa. Let's not have the irregularities that we experience with the Beavers and IREV. If INEC can, stay through to Beavers functioning properly and the posting of results and IREV calculations and whatnot, then I think Nigerians will believe the system more. Let's have your thoughts this morning with some of the topics and stories we've addressed this morning. The numbers to call 0909 888 9939 or 0912 222 2939. If there were stories you wanted us to put a spotlight on and we did not, Friday's edition is open mic, so you have a chance to raise that story. 0909 888 9939 or 0912 222 2939. We're also taking messages on WhatsApp and regular text to 0904 422 2939. 0904 422 2939. Be sure to send messages as well on Facebook. We'll be reading your messages as we continue the show.
Okay, so looking at some other headlines here that also, I mean, some just caught my attention. Most especially that happened in Lagos yesterday. At points in time, they barred journalists from going into that estate, and it was like it was a situation where people were making it compulsory that to understand the rule of law. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning
to you.
This is Mr. Sando Waga from Elegberu here.
Okay, Mr. Sunday, thank you.
Yes, I want you to tell me who is leading in those two states, Adamawa and KD. Who are the political parties that are leading in these states? I want to know, please.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So we're going to get that. It's between the PDP and the PDP governorship candidates, that's Adamu Fintiri, and the APC governorship candidate Aisha Binani.
Binani,
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think we've been able to sort that out. However, we just hope that it will be there will be peace in these states where we have the inconclusive elections. Because I mean, if you look at what has been happening, there were different stories before that election was declared inconclusive, where some people had already written headlines concerning a particular candidate and the likes. So going back to what happened, it is better people understand the rule of law and the freedom of information. Journalists can go anywhere to get information. However, journalists must also be smart, and but people holding different offices must be willing to give information. Although there are some places where before you can get such information, you need to go through the normal process. So I mean, for the Lagos people, for the journalists in Lagos, also most especially for Banana Island, we also hope that the Lagos state government can also come out to also clear more air concerning what happened in that state. Well, I don't know if you saw a particular picture that's also trended yesterday.
Okay.
Where a picture of Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and the chairperson of I've forgotten this Dabiri area, saying that she helped rescued Peter Obi from the embarrassment in the UK. People failed to understand that they need to fact check. And shout out to fact checkers across the globe. Shout out to Leadership Newspaper. Shout out to some other journalists that got to know that these pictures were photoshopped. And a lot of people started sharing the pictures, saying that, oh, this has been done and that. However, same yesterday, the spokesperson for the Labour Party, for Obi Dati movement, came out to say that the UK government is yet to apologize to Peter Obi, although a PDP spokesperson came out to say that Peter Obi has been apologized to. But why do we like sharing fake news, fake stories, fake pictures, fake videos? And no one has been brought to book concerning this. It is more of doing the right thing. It is more of, yes, when we say that when a political season, there will surely be flying around of fake information. But with what happened yesterday, it was very, very easy for me to spot that picture was fake. I don't know if you've seen the picture.
I saw the picture. And I never believed it at first. Look at what is happening in the country now. AI is taking over everything. I was just telling someone yesterday that we'll get to a point where AI will literally do everything. There was videos of Rihanna singing Thames' song, and Rihanna never went to the studio. It was AI generated. So the Pope picture that trended a couple of days ago, where the Pope was seen marrying someone, the Pope had a very designer kind of priesthood attire on. It was AI generated. So technology is advancing and things are becoming, more scary and creepy. So when I saw the picture, I wasn't really given to the validity of the picture. And yes, Obi has, it's surprising to me. You're saying you've apologized, but the person is saying you didn't apologize. Yeah, so I think for me, the person who is offended, for lack of a better way, should be the one to tell me that he's been apologized to. It's just like,
not a different party.
Yes, yes. So Obi has a defense of some sort here. Let's move away and talk about health. Remember, we're still taking your calls. The numbers to call is 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. Headline on the Nigerian Tribune says, Ghana first to approve Oxford malaria vaccine. The World Malaria Day comes up on the 25th of April 2023. And malaria is one illness that we've been dealing for a long time. It's been termed or fingered as an African disease, but we've been seeing developments. Different interventions have been put in place by the WHO, and this particular one, the vaccination, is one that we've really been looking for, and it's going to be coming to some African countries. I've seen arguments on social media about once we start receiving the vaccine, what happens to pharmaceutical products for malaria? Does it go to extinction? Well, we'll have a doctor who would address that, of course, speak about if we're going to be combining, after taking the vaccine, if you take drugs to keep a healthy life ultimately. But I think it's a good development that we have malaria vaccine coming to Nigeria.
Coming to Nigeria, we wait because you look at the headline here, Nigeria working to meet the malaria vaccine deadline, and Ghana okays use for children under 3. So if Ghana has already, approved this, how far and when will Nigeria get to that stage? Look at Nigeria happens to be one of the most populous countries in Africa, and look at, I keep saying that sometimes it's about the population, how you can manage your population, that development can also happen. But maybe you should also look at what happened during the COVID-19 period, where a lot of vaccines were brought in, and there were stories of some vaccines being expired, some not used well. But in the Oyo State, based on the reports, Oyo State happens to be one of the states that consumed the vaccines, the COVID-19 vaccines, well. But here now, if things can be done the right way, there should be a report of how people were able to turn out in getting the vaccines, the COVID-19 vaccines, and how the reports went, and look at the states where there were expired vaccines. People did not even come out for the COVID-19 vaccines. So that's one, the malaria vaccines will not get expired. We don't know the expiration level of these vaccines.
There's a wider window period for expiration. I think the conversation now should be centered on Nigerians being receptive of this vaccine. When COVID-19 came into the fore, there were a lot of myth around COVID-19. People would die after 2 years. I think it was a Nollywood actor, Jemima Osinde, who did a throwback on her doses of the vaccines, and she did she put out the picture of the first time she went to take the vaccine and the second time, and she now wrote 2 years later, I'm still alive and I'm dancing. So I think we need to start putting out messages about how these vaccines would be beneficial to the human body and not for the purpose of destruction, not to kill you. That way we can control the narrative when the vaccines are eventually approved and they come into Nigeria. Because of course it's going to be a conversation. People are very, very used to a particular way of life.
The normal way of life, yes.
Change is very difficult for a lot of people to adapt to. So we can control the narrative now by proper education. So I would employ, the NCDC, the health parastatals in Nigeria to start going start going for media rounds, start talking about these vaccines and how they are going to be potentially important and beneficial to the Nigerian people that would take it. I mean, we're trying to curb malaria. Malaria, as trivial as it might seem to a lot of people, has a record of mortality that is ridiculous. And we want to see that is not the case. And that's why WHO is coming out with these interventions. There's been several interventions like the ITN that a lot of people now use in rural areas for famine.
Yeah, we were at a particular event talking about how people misuse the ITN, and very soon there will also be a campaign ahead of the World Malaria Day. The proper way of using the ITN, same as insecticides. It is not everybody that really understand the use, apart from even farming and fishing, that people use the ITN in the wrong way for. Some people use it as their window net.
Yeah.
For those who stay in uncompleted building. And look at what the data says. That is as far back as 2002, coming from the Biomed Central. The data here in Nigeria, which bears 25% of global morbidity in malaria annually, accounts for an estimated 60% of outpatient hospital visits, 50 million cases, and 100,000 deaths. So this should be reduced. I mean, malaria, people just trivialize it, that if I just take, even some people that take herbs, when I take herb or take a particular drug, it will be over. I mean, it causes a lot of damage in Nigeria, in the country, and in the system here. But that is what the data says here. But let's keep our fingers crossed. Not until when there is mortality rate. I mean, it increases. That was why we were talking about the building collapse in Lagos and taking a step after things have been done. But let's look at another headline here this morning. I know this will also raise a lot of questioning with the time lists. Having Tinubu among the 100 most influential people on that particular the time list. I don't know. I mean, looking at on Twitter yesterday, a lot of reaction from that angle that you cannot even say on air from that particular that particular story. But I mean, these people who do their research, they do their research and they know what why these people have to be on that particular list of the time list of 100
premium times. Well, I would say that influence are in different capacity. You can influence somebody in a good way, and you can influence someone in a bad way. Now, I don't know the basis for the selection of premium times for the most influential, the 100 most influential people. But I would say that whatever basis, I would like to think that it's for good purposes, and the antecedents of that person's life. And it's impressive for Nigerians to be selected and a president-elect to be on that list. But, when you now have the people in the country having contrary views to that, then it begs several questions. It begs a lot of questions, how deserving it is and whatnot. But yeah, congratulations to the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for that particular emergence.
On the Times magazine. But if you also look, it also goes back to, if you look at what happened to Hush Puppy. Hush Puppy was, listed, in the particular magazine, if I could remember, and that began the investigation. We all know where he also is currently, he got apprehended, and they did a lot of findings and to expose Hush Puppy. But let's look at one more this morning before we go on a break and switch the gears a bit of we look at what will surely be coming our way this morning. And we say congratulations. I don't know, Victor, you've been running gospel shows, and this particular story came out yesterday about Kefi, right? Kefi's late Kefi's husband got remarried, and look at a lot of things concerning that. Yes, a lot of people will have their sentiments concerning this, but it is what it is. People will surely move on, and we'll also still pray for the repose of the soul of Kefi.
Nigerians should just say congratulations and
that is
on.
it.
I don't know. I don't even think this is a conversation. You should. Congratulations to you, sir, and your new wife.
All right, let's go on the break, and when we return, we'll wrap up AM update for the Friday edition. Do not go anywhere.
For this Naija wey we dey so, say you no hold cash no mean say wahala dey o. You wan send money to Male for Villa, just use Momo. You wan buy recharge card or data, just use Momo. You wan pay for market wey you buy, just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash, as long as you get Momo account. No cash, no wahala, and e dey easy to open o. Just dial *671# to open Momo account. Set your PIN, transfer money from your bank account inside your Momo account. Make you fit dey pay for anything, send and receive money sharp because life dey simple with Momo.
Saleko is a jungle. Everyone does what they must to survive.
Gangs of Lagos don land for Prime Video and na the #1 film, so make una go watch am. E get better stars like Toby Bakri, Adesuwa Tomi Wellington, Chike, Iyabo Ojo and more. Plus the genge action wey dem do for the film. Chai! Na for only Prime Video you fit watch Gangs of Lagos, and dem go first give you 7 days free trial. Terms and conditions dey o. Oh yeah, japa to Prime Video.
Mommy!
Yes, daughter?
Why is it that almost everyone in my school comes with small candies and biscuits? I just want to know.
Yes, darling. It's because Sumal food is amazing and simply the best.
Yes, Mommy. Even the Sumal wafers and the chewing gum that you've always given to us are extremely delicious and captivating.
Hello, everyone. Here's your bread. Of course, it's yellow bread.
Wow!
Thanks, my dear. We always enjoy Jolly bread. For your biscuits, wafers, candies, chewing gum, and bread.
Sumal Foods, love at first bite.
Sumal Foods, love at first bite.
The Naira Games with your favorite radio presenters. The music with loads of fun and entertainment. It's Buxton World. Buxton World presents the Naira Game Show in the city of Ibadan. Featuring lots of games to win lots of money. And also get a chance to mingle with your favorite radio personalities. Coming live every last Thursday of the month at Platinum Club's outdoor stage. Number 2, Awolowo Avenue, Old Bodija, Ibadan. From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The game ticket is 500 Naira. And you can get yours in all the radio stations in Ibadan. Or you can log into to www.buxtonworld.com to play off stage. For sponsorship, call 0905-362-5550. Proudly supported by Platinum Club and all the radio stations in Oyo State. Buxton World Naira Game Show. Every player is a winner.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
It's the last edition of the show from the dailies for this week, and we've had quite the time reading stories and analyzing these stories that made the front pages of our Nigerian newspapers this morning. It's about time for us to draw the curtains, and we must appreciate you for taking the time to listen to the show and lending your thought. I do believe that some of the questions that were raised, you got answers to those questions from our analysts and the analysis we did this morning. I will just check what the weather forecast is saying for the weekend. I know there are a lot of plans. It's Friday. Saturday, of course, election. But Friday, Saturdays are also celebratory days for a lot of people. So as you plan towards your celebrations, you want to consider the weather as well, especially if you're using an opened environment.
Okay, so what the weatherman is saying this morning is that it will be cloudy around 11 a.m. Till 1 p.m. We should be expecting rain in the city of Ibadan by 2 p.m. Thunderstorm in the city of Ibadan. I mean, it rained last night till I think around 1 a.m. This morning. So we should be expecting rain once in the city of Ibadan today. So try get what you need to get. I mean, pack waterproof things that you can get while going out today. Well, remember tomorrow's supplementary election in those areas we mentioned during the show. Please avoid causing unnecessary drama with security officials, because they also have to do their job. And for those of you in those polling units, make sure come out very early, cast your votes. If you want to stay, if you want to go back home, but do your bit as a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian. Shout out to Arani on Facebook, Adidjo Kosola, and other guys that sent us messages on Facebook. Agumbiade Sharif. AM Updates makes a return next week, Monday, starting 9 o'clock with with Kickoff Sports Show. Then the newspaper review 9:30. My name is Oladapo Okunubi.
All right, my name is Victor Richard. I hope you have the most fabulous weekend.